How would you like to learn a great recovery strategy that almost nobody has ever heard of? I would say this could at least triple your chances of being sober and make it faster, simpler, and easier, which is always our goal. So if you're ready, if you're excited, let's go ahead and jump inside the training. I'm going to teach you an amazing technique called externalization. What is it? You start seeing your problem, your addiction, as something outside of yourself. See, you're not actually stupid enough to take a poison over and over again till you die, okay? That takes some serious psychological juggling to get a human being to do that. So what's the trick that your addiction uses? It makes you think that when it talks to you, that's actually you talking to you. We never question the voice in our head. Now, I'll say something to you and you'll say, geez, is that true or not? Do I want to believe that? Do I want to take that in? But every single thing that you say to you, you instantly believe. It could be totally wrong. It could be totally false. It could be made up. It could be misinformation. But you instantly believe it because you never question yourself as a source. So until you see your addiction, that addictive voice in your head that says drink or drug, and you see it as something outside of yourself, you're never going to reject it. You're going to take it to be the true state of affairs. And whatever it says, that's the perfect thing to do. When it says take a drink or a drug, you say, absolutely, I'm excited to be part of this plan. And off you go. But if you hear it as something outside of yourself, there's your regular voice, which is the true voice of you. And then there's your addiction. And you start externalizing the addiction and say, I always listen to me. I never listen to my addiction. And here's why you never listen to your addiction. Because you are not your addiction. Do you know what your addiction's goal is? Your addiction's goal is to get you to use over and over and over again until you die. It wants to kill you dead. It wants you gone. And it's going to get you, talk you into using a poison over and over and over again until you die. Doesn't care about you, doesn't care about your family, doesn't care about your friends, doesn't care about your future, doesn't care about your pain. And the only thing it cares about your life is ending it. It wants to get rid of you. That's probably a voice you don't want to listen to. Now, the good news about this external voice is it's quadriplegic. It has no power. It's literally bedridden. It's like a ghost whispering in your ear. It has no body. It has no substance. It has no form. It can't do anything except lie to you over and over again in your head and try to talk you, manipulate you, gaslight you into using a substance. That's all it can do. Here's Captain Obvious to make it a little clearer. Hey, beer can't actually drink itself. It's got to get you to drink it. Pot can't smoke itself. Coke can't snort itself. Heroin can't shoot itself, and pills can't swallow themselves. Your addiction, this nasty, evil voice in your head, whose only goal is to destroy your life and kill you dead, has to talk you into doing these things. It is completely powerless. It can never take another drink or drug on its own. It has to go through you because you are the master control. So, you can master your addiction once you realize that all your addiction has to work with are your thoughts and your feelings. It's going to try to make you have cravings and urges. That's the feelings part. It's going to tell you different thoughts in your head. We'll go over that next to try to talk you into using. I'm sure you know what some of these are right off the bat, right? So we've got a special technique here that'll help you reverse the whole game on it. It's called transposing. Transposing is kind of when you flip something over. I reverse an image. That's transposing. So I'm going to reverse things here for you. We're going to go from your addiction is actually you to your addiction is just your addiction. You are actually you and have nothing to do with your addiction. So you need to learn how to figure out when your addiction is talking to you, then flip the script, transposing, and say your addiction is talking to you. So you have a thought and you think, geez, I want to drink. And that thought becomes, no, I don't want to drink. I'm sober. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to lose my kids. I don't want to get in a car accident. I don't want to kill myself or somebody else. I don't want to drink. I don't want to take poison over and over again until I die. I don't want that at all. My addiction, oh God, it would love a drink. If it can get me to take just one drink, it can get me to take thousands of drinks, thousands of drugs, and kill myself. That's the opportunity here. So when you hear, I want a drink, you say, no, no, no. My nasty, evil addiction wants a drink. No thanks. Count me out. Think of it this way. Sometimes I like to have two images in my head. One is my sponsor and what he would say to me. And then there's my addiction. And I know what my addiction says to me. It says things like, I want a drink. So anytime you hear something, here's what you do. Write this down. What would my sponsor want me to do? That's always the correct answer. If the question is, should you have a drink? Who would want me to do that? My addiction or my sponsor? My addiction would want me to do that. And how would my sponsor respond to that? Hey, sponsor, I want to go have a drink. What should I do? Don't drink. What are you, new? Don't drink. Obviously, that was your addiction telling you to have a drink. And if you listen to the evil voice in your head that's trying to kill you, yeah, you're going to die. Don't do it. Another wonderful idea comes in your head. Say, you know what? I worked some extra hours today. I'm hot and sweaty. I don't want to go to a meeting. I'd have to shower and everything. And I got to drive across town. And then I got to sit in the meeting for an hour. You know, it was boring at the last meeting. You know, the guy was talking about stuff that I didn't care about. Yeah, the meeting before that was good. But what if it's another boring meeting? I don't want to go to that. You know, you don't have to go to a meeting every single day. I want to take a day off. Let's not go to a meeting today. Now question it. Who would love you to not go to a meeting? Your addiction would love that. And we don't listen to the addiction. Who would tell you this is the perfect time to get to a meeting? Because what? Your addiction was just talking to you. That wasn't your common sense trying to talk you out of going to a meeting. That was your addiction talking to you. That tells you what? Wow, does this guy need a meeting? And he needs it now. Get your butt to a meeting. Go, 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 go. Using this technique of figuring out when is my addiction talking to me and what would my sponsor recommend, you know, the person that actually cares about me, that's a great strategy. Works over and over and over again, has saved thousands of lives. Transposing is an amazingly powerful technique. Now, I want to tell you about the 4 common lies that urges give you. Urges tell you 4 things and they're complete and utter lies. Urges tell you that they're excruciating and unbearable. No. Notice the next time you have an urge. And then remember back to something that was more excruciating and unbearable than that. Like one time I was practicing my kung fu and I was doing a spinning back fist on a heavy bag. I was in an unfamiliar area. I hadn't been at this gym before and they put an I-beam too close to the heavy bag. And because some guys pushed me off to the side, when I spun around, my hand came too close to that I-beam. Matter of fact, it came so close that it went halfway through my hand. I was really swinging that sucker around. And I shoved a steel I-beam halfway through my hand and basically shattered my hand. That was excruciating, but it wasn't unbearable, okay? And I survived it. Do you think you've ever had an urge for a drink or drug that was that painful? And I'll tell you, did I take a drink or a drug at that time? No. Recovery is always more important. 2, urges compel you to use. They force you to use. No. Captain Obvious already told you. Can't make you drink, can't make you drug, can't make you snort cocaine, can't make you shoot heroin. It tries to talk you into it. It can never, ever, ever make you. Cripes, if number 2 was true, nobody in the whole world would ever get sober. So it's a complete and utter lie. People with lifetime sobriety are putting the lie to task. 3, the urges will not go away until you drink or use. No, they will go away, whether you drink or use or not. Matter of fact, here's how addiction works. Every time you take a drink or a drug, your addiction gets stronger and you get weaker. Every time you don't use a drink or a drug, the addiction gets weaker and you get stronger. There's an old quote. It simply states, What you feed grows, what you starve dies. You've got to start starving your addiction. You starve the addicted voice by not listening to it, by not believing it, and by working a good recovery program. So, number 3 is a lie. 4, urges will drive you crazy. I was a licensed therapist for many years. I taught the class on psychopathology, which was the study of how people go crazy and how to diagnose them as being crazy. I can tell you, there is not one single documented case of an addict going clinically insane because they didn't drink or drug. But I can show you millions of cases of people who drank and drug and went clinically insane. Not drinking and drugging will keep you sane. Drinking and drugging will drive you crazy. Matter of fact, it's a diagnosis in and of itself, right? Here's the other reason why addicts use so much. Now, I put this visual up on the screen because I got a great course called Coping Skills Transform Your Life. Hopefully, you're already part of my membership site at wap.com. If not, go ahead and sign up there. This course is free there. I'm going to do other YouTube videos. You know, like I said, I don't want to take your money if you don't want to give me any money. That's fine. I'm not here for the money. But if you go to my wap.com site, you've got a whole treasure trove of coping skills and addiction stuff and health stuff and finance stuff, everything to make you healthy, wealthy, and wise, all in one spot, and you get it fast. Or you can go very slowly through my YouTube videos, whichever one you want to do. This is like a quick start program, and you also get access to the community, you get access to me. I do Q&As, you can talk to me live if you want. Kind of a fun thing, I'd like to meet you guys. But here's what I want to tell you about coping skills. Coping skills are hugely important. See, I don't like the term addiction because it doesn't really mean anything. I like the term chemical dependency. And why do you have a chemical dependency? Because you depend on the chemical to do things for you. Why do you depend on a chemical to do things for you? Because you don't have the coping skills to do them yourself. You're shy about asking the pretty girl at the bar to dance. You basically have a light form of social phobia. So because you don't have this coping skills to deal with that, you have a couple of drinks and all of a sudden you don't care as much whether she says yes or no, and you're kind of got a little more liquid courage and pretty sure that she will, although she probably won't because now you look all drunk and sloppy, but hey, you're going to go for it. And you say, well, at least I accomplished that mission. No, you failed. Next thing, maybe you have trouble going to sleep at night and, a Xanax or a couple glasses of wine or a few beers, maybe a tranquilizer, muscle relaxant, helps you go to sleep. Works very well. But now you're drugging yourself over and over and over again until you die. And your sleep is getting worse and worse and worse. And pretty soon you're getting tolerance and you got to take more and more of those pills and your liver's just dying the whole time. Why? Because you didn't have the coping skills to deal with your stress and to deal with your insomnia by dealing with your stress and dealing with your insomnia. Alcohol and drugs are not, liquid and powdered cure-alls. You can't sprinkle them on anything like they're WD-40 or duct tape. They're not meant to work for everything. They tell you they work for everything. They don't. The only thing they do for everything is they make everything worse. But until you have these coping skills, you're not going to be able to deal with the things in your life that you need to be able to deal with without a drink or drug. So we're talking about chemical dependency. Learn the coping skills, all of a sudden there's no dependency and therefore no reason to take the chemical. It disappears. Genius. This is how I got the 90% recovery rates. I spent about 20% of the time in the trainings that I did with addicts, teaching them how to use AA and NA and all the things, everything you ever need to know about addiction and recovery, but we're afraid to ask. And then I spent the other 80% of the time pounding on the coping skills that they needed because their coping skills, their lack of coping skills was their entire excuse list for why they used. There was virtually, at least 9 out of 10, if not 19 out of 20 of their excuses came back to, you don't have a coping skill in this area. And that's why they used. Eliminate the problem. So if you want to check out my membership site, go to wap.com/life transformation. We use the healthy, wealthy, wise model. So inside of here, not only would you learn great coping skills and great recovery skills, you're going to learn how to be healthy and even do reverse aging. You'll be much sexier when you got a little bit of money in your pocket. You become wealthy. The wise part is all the self-help and recovery stuff. And again, we make it fast, simple, and easy for you. Hey, if you're loving this content, make sure you like and subscribe. Feel free to comment below, especially if you have a question for me. I look through those and I try to answer those as quickly as possible. I got one more great tip for you before you go. One of the things that I want you to do is to start writing down what your brain says to you. When you catch that addiction, write down its excuse and keep it in a journal. Then periodically go through that journal. Here's something interesting. Your brain, your addicted brain, isn't very creative. Your brain, that's you, the part that's you, is wildly creative and can come up with all kinds of great stuff. But your addiction probably uses the same 10 lies over and over and over again. And it's got some favorites. I bet you can pick out, by thinking back maybe the last few times you relapsed, what were the top 3 out of the 10 excuses that you used to get yourself to use? And usually it never has to get past number 3 to get you to use. Why? Because you become so easy. But once you see this lie there and you see it in black and white and you're able to take some time and maybe on a separate piece of paper in your journal, you write down each one of the 3 main lies. And then you come up with like 10 or 12 different ways that's absolutely, positively not true and why you should never listen to it and what it has cost you. If you write those things down, and you review them maybe once a day for a week or so, it will be so well ingrained in your mind that you will instantly reject these ideas when it comes into your mind. So what's your brain going to do? What's your addicted brain going to do? It's going to go down the list. But you got to realize the strength of these things goes down geometrically. 80% of the strength was probably in the top 3. The other 20% of its strength is in the bottom 7. And you can start nailing those down in order of priority. And by the time you get to number 10, it's going to be totally stuck and it's going to be try to scramble around, find some lame excuse to use. And it's going to be like, you're going to be like, I'm not giving my life up for that. I'm going to buy a 6-pack of beer because it's on sale and I'm going to save $3. Is that really why I'm going to jail? Is that really why I'm giving up my wife? Is that really why I'm losing my kids? Is that really why I'm going to get a DUI and kill myself or somebody else for $3? Is that the best you got? Pretty lame. Try again. So these are all great tools, strategies, and techniques to beat your addiction. Make sure you like and subscribe so you get all my content. Go down through the playlists. If you missed a training, I don't do a training that 95% of addicts don't need. And chances are you're not in the 5. So make sure you get each and every single one of the trainings. Otherwise, what if you missed one of the trainings and that's the one that would have saved your life? I'm not responsible for that. I'm here. I'm giving you the content. Hey, you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for watching the video. And if nobody's told you you're awesome today for staying sober, let me be the first. You're doing a beautiful and powerful thing by staying sober. And wow, I couldn't be more proud of you. You're doing absolutely fantastic. Congratulations. My name is Professor Paul, and I'll see you in my next training.